This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Hey everyone! So today's video is going to be different from the videos I've posted before because we are not in fact working in my sketchbook, which is like so desperately trying to stay open. In fact, we won't even be working on this desk. Today we're going to be working on an easel that I bought. I'm going to be learning how to oil paint. All right, so we're just gonna like sit over here on the floor, open up these packages, maybe in time lapse, maybe not, depending on how bad my rambling is. Anyways, I got these with my own money. I've been having a lot of collaboration videos recently, but like it always feels nice to like buy the supplies myself and like choose exactly what I want. So yeah, I got the set that I'm about to unbox here from the Sarah's, which is like a local art shop. And I guess while I'm unboxing this, I could like multitask and talk a little bit about like why oil paints. So recently I've been feeling like very strong imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's like when you feel like you don't deserve any like of the attention or like success that you've had, I think. I'm not sure if that's like the exact definition. I'll probably put it up on screen. Anyways, I've been feeling a lot of imposter syndrome recently, and I haven't been 100% happy with my art, if I'm being 100% honest. So I've really been wanting to go back to the fundamentals and just learn art a little more formally. I mean, that's kind of what's pushing me to do this, you know? The fact that it's a new supply, a new start, I can learn some new skills. Hey, Ziku. What's up, Ziku? Ziku's just making sure everything's going smoothly, which it is. As I was saying, actually, I forget what I was saying. Ziku distracted me. But basically, I've been wanting to go back to fundamentals and like learn a new medium, get back into the habit of like watching tutorials and actually learning things, because I feel like I've just been really stubborn and sticking to the way I do art and not like branching out of it, learning new skills, that sort of thing. And yeah, my solution was buying a bunch of new art supplies, a completely new medium, you know, just like a fresh start. Another reason I chose oil paints is because I heard it's like some people prefer it to acrylics. I've heard like a stereotype basically that if you hate acrylics, you will like oil paints. And I absolutely despise acrylics. So I'm hoping this will go well. Anyways, I'm done rambling. Here is the set that I got. This set was on a huge sale at the Sarah's. I think it's usually like, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to try and guess at the usual price. I'll just put it on screen if I can find it. But yeah, what I like about it is that it has a case and it has like mediums and like little tins, which I think are really cute. Let me just fix the angle. Okay, so this is the set here. And then I got these two bottles. One of them is that Talatine or something. It's meant for cleaning the brushes, and you can also use it as a paint thinner. And this one is purified linseed oil, which is basically just the basic medium that everyone starts out with, I guess. I got it just because it's what most people recommended and used, but there are tons of other mediums that you can get. I had to zoom in because my camera quality unfortunately gets really bad when I'm at 0.5 zoom. Anyways, so this is the set I got. It comes with 10 40ml tubes. Now, over here, this really long box, that is the easel that I got. Anyways, I think I'm going to unbox the easel in time lapse or something, without carrying the camera like this, and then I'll unbox that and we can start having fun. Okay, so here's the easel. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Like, I don't need even like half of this length. Actually, maybe I do need exactly half. Anyways, I think it's meant for like ginormous canvases, but it could also be adjusted for smaller ones. I just need to raise this up a couple notches. Anyways, now to open the actual oil paints. So in this part of the video, I basically just unboxed all the oil paint supplies that I got. And honestly, I really recommend this set of Van Gogh oil paints. Or if you don't want to buy the whole set with like the wooden container and stuff, if you just want the paints themselves, which is probably cheaper, I think they have that option as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed the set though. Like the brushes came in handy surprisingly, even though I bought my own brushes as well. I really like the square one, or the flat brush it's called. And yeah, I don't know exactly what medium they provide, like what name the medium is. The bottle doesn't really explain if it's fast drying or slow drying, and I couldn't really tell what it did, but it worked really nicely. And yeah, I'm just swatching out all the colors here. The color selection for this set is honestly perfect in my opinion. I had a lot of fun with these colors, and I feel like I learned a lot about color mixing that I don't usually learn because I use 3 billion different colors. Anyways, after swatching and practicing mixing the colors a tiny bit, I moved on to canvas. I really like just jumping into things without like too much preparation, and I was already super nervous, so I thought like the best course of action would be to just start before I chicken out. But yeah, I ended up using acrylics, my Amsterdam acrylics, for the base layer, just to cover up all the whites with this orange color. I used acrylics because they dry a lot faster, and I learned the hard way that you could layer acrylics on top of, you could layer oils on top of acrylic, but acrylics do not go on top of oils. So yeah, I paid attention to that in this video and just use acrylics for base layer stuff. Okay, so the canvas is dried, and I found a much better place to put my iPad. Basically, I DIY'd an iPad stand connected to like my paint trolley. So that's not concerning at all. So yeah, that's my very unorganized, kind of cluttered desk setup and whatnot. Let's do this. Let's start. Now, before we start, I'd like to introduce you guys to the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. If you guys have been around YouTube for a while, you probably already know that Squarespace is an all-in-one platform where you could build your own website or online store. One of the features that I really appreciate about Squarespace is the wide variety of customizable templates that they provide you with. In addition to the customizable templates, Squarespace also provides you with pre-built layouts for specific pages that you may want to include on your website, such as an about page, a contact us page, and product pages for your online store. Squarespace makes e-commerce easy for beginners like me because it provides you with a secure checkout checkout page for your website and also enables you to set up the shipping methods that best fit your business. On top of all that, Squarespace has a built-in mobile website feature that basically transfers your design for your main website and makes it accessible on all devices. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, head to squarespace.com/coffeebean and you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and now we can get oil painting. Okay, so this is when the fun begins. I'm basically setting up the solvent and the mediums over here, and also just setting up my palette, my wooden palette. And yeah, over here on the screen to the side, I put the reference photo that I used for this painting. I don't follow this reference photo exactly, as you'll see at the end, but yeah, I basically just started out by sketching the entire piece, just like the dark areas and the basic shapes with a very watered down burnt umber color. And by watered down, of course, I mean like solvent, like tons of solvent added to the dark umber, burnt umber. I forget what it's called. I didn't use medium, I used solvent. So I don't know if that was correct or not, but that's how I did it. Anyways, I started off this painting with the sky because I felt like that's the easiest part in my opinion. Sky gradients are really easy for me. But the thing is, the lighting is so horrible that it looks ugly in this footage right here. Like in real life, the blue was a lot prettier, and so was the yellow and orange colors. This was a brand new setup for me, and I was just not used to filming from this angle. But later on in the video, I figure out the correct position to put the easel in so that the light doesn't glare against the oils so harshly. Like even I was having difficulty seeing what I was doing because it was so shiny in real life as well. But I eventually figured it out. This was just the beginning. So yeah, this was my first night ever oil painting, and it was very fun, but also extremely messy. As you could see here on screen, I destroyed my favorite hoodie. I don't even know how it's physically possible to mess up my hoodie that badly because I didn't even use dark blue and black. It was crazy, but very typical. I'm an extremely clumsy person, and yeah, me mixed with oils, it was a disaster, but a very fun disaster, but still a disaster. So here I'm painting the trees because I'm done with, well, I'm kind of done. I'm partially done working on the base layer for the sky and the mountains and stuff. So yeah, I moved closer into the foreground and I started mapping out the darks and then adding the lights afterwards because I heard that's a thing. But also for the hoodie, I just want to mention one last thing. I'm now using it as my painting hoodie. So it's like, it's the hoodie that I get messy with paint splatters and whatnot and don't really care. I'm not gonna throw that hoodie out, ever. Also, I might buy some patches and just cover the really bad, ugly parts. So, yeah. Anyways, back to this painting. Here, I'm doing the really dark trees. This ends up being edited a lot, like this section of the painting. But I wanted to include some more real-time footage in this video because I think it really looks nice. And yeah, just like the variety of time-lapse in real time, I feel it's fun and adds some like interest. So yeah, this stage here, I was just adding the really, really dark parts and it was super fun. I really enjoyed it, and even though this painting didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to, like some of the values were just too saturated and not true to the actual image, I still really love how it turned out. I think it looks really pretty. A bit unrealistic, but I don't mind, honestly. Alright, so here I'm finally filming in broad daylight. This week was so busy and hectic that I was only able to paint at night most of the time. But yeah, I finally had a chance on this day to paint in the morning, so like the colors just look so much prettier. Now, there's a really annoying glare that's still going on from the window hitting the oil paints. And instead of fixing it, I just continue painting. It was really difficult because even I was seeing the glare, so I had to keep like tilting the canvas. But the clouds were still really fun to paint despite all that. So yeah, I just keep working on the clouds. It was pretty difficult, like getting the values of the clouds correct. And I don't think I did, like at all. Like clouds, they actually have this really weird like gray desaturated color, but I have an obsession with saturation and I made it pink. So it kind of clashes with the pink from the mountains. And yeah, I just wasn't following the reference photo. Like I wasn't following the colors. I was making up my own thing in some areas. And so some of the colors and composition even was impacted by that, I feel. I'm not complaining. I'm just like criticizing myself because I do genuinely want to improve at color theory and making things look a little bit more realistic before trying to stylize. Like I feel like I use stylization as a crutch sometimes. So if something's going to be hard, I just make it a crazy saturated color because that's easier for me to deal with, you know? And it looks pretty kind of, but it doesn't look the way I wanted it to. It doesn't give the same vibes as the reference photo, which I really liked. So that's honestly my main self-criticism of this artwork. But I genuinely don't hate it. Like, I'm not trying to hate on myself or make myself feel bad. It's just criticizing myself so that I could potentially improve in the future. Okay, so I'm basically done this painting. I might add like a couple final touches and like, you know, adjust the colors in some areas. But I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Like, it's not the most complex painting and it doesn't look exactly like the reference photo. In fact, like it almost looks nothing like the reference photo, but I had fun and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Like it looks pretty cool. Anyways, I wanted to point out the fact that I found the perfect angle so that there's no glare, but then there's still a lot of sunlight on the painting. And I feel so stupid because it's kind of obvious, like the windows here, it's obvious that I should be facing this way. So like the light hits it, but there isn't any obnoxious shininess and glare on the painting. So yeah, before it was like facing that way, so the sunlight was going straight onto it. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. So I'm in the mood to make a second painting, but this time not on canvas, on these like wooden panels that I have. I have these, I think they're called Masonite boards. I don't know how it's pronounced, but yeah, it's like that size. Anyways, I'm just gonna take this off and find somewhere safe for it to dry for a couple days. I'm gonna leave it for like 5 days before varnishing it. So I won't get to show the varnishing in this video, unfortunately. So I didn't paint the bottom here yet because the top of the canvas is still wet and there's no way for me to like position it well. Also, the top still needs some touching up, so I'll deal with that later. So for this second painting, I chose to do a still life of a red onion. I'll put the exact reference photo I use on the screen in a couple seconds, probably right now. So I chose this reference photo because the contrast was very dramatic and there was a lot of saturation involved as well. So I thought it would be like a really great value study thing to do. Just like practice my darks and lights, highlights, shadows, that sort of thing. So I started doing the sketch with the burnt umber again, just like last time. This time also mapping out the extreme shadows. So yeah, it was a lot easier to do that because it's not a landscape, it's just a single object, so I could really focus on it. Now, as you could probably see on screen, the paint is reacting really weirdly with the board, and that's because I just sanded the surface of the board and then didn't apply any gesso whatsoever. Anyways, I fixed this issue by adding acrylics to the board. So over here, I have some dark purple acrylic and I'm just making a base layer for me to work off of. And then I switched to this weird neon blue color to make, like, again, like a base layer to work on. it worked, but I don't know why I chose the blue. But it actually, hey, it worked out pretty nice, so I won't complain. Anyways, here I switched back to oils and it's working normally. It still dried suspiciously quickly. Like, I actually really like that about the panel. For some reason, the oils dried like pretty nicely on it and fast as well, but still blendable at the same time. So I really enjoyed painting on it. But yeah, here I'm having fun painting the wood, which was like a really nice experience. I love painting wood. It's just really relaxing and therapeutic in a way. This reference photo and just the painting in general, I had so much more fun with it, and I also feel like it turned out so much better. Like, I actually learned things throughout the process about like color mixing and values and that sort of thing. So it was overall a really nice experience, and I'm so happy I tried oil paints out. I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but I really love oil paints now. I think it's one of my new favorite mediums, specifically for like still lifes and like canvas and wood panel painting. I enjoy it a lot more than acrylics and even gouache. I still love gouache, but not for big canvases and projects, to be honest. Anyways, on screen right now is honestly what I feel was the most fun part of the entire onion, which was the green sprouts coming out of it. I don't know if that's the right term or not. But yeah, I love how neon it looks against the black, and also later on you'll see that I fixed the values for it and just like adjust how yellow it is and add shadows. This is honestly what I love about oils. It's so easy to edit the shades and like work on top of previous layers. It blends, but it doesn't blend too much. Like, you can control how much it blends by like adjusting how thick the paint you're using is. And even if you mess up and overblend something, it's really easy to fix those mistakes once the paint has dried a little bit. Like, you can add a thicker layer of a lighter color or darker color, and it covers up pretty nicely. So after I was done with the sprouts, I moved on to the body of the onion, and I worked from really, really dark parts to lighter parts and paid attention to like the direction that my paint strokes were going in to get that like texture of the peeling. I feel like with this artwork compared to the previous landscape, I was just really paying attention to the reference photo. Like, I kept looking back at it, and even though I improvised a couple parts of the onion and it's not absolutely exact, I feel like it's true to form. The colors are mostly correct. I think the reference photo is actually a little bit more vibrant, but my paints weren't able to get the exact like almost neon shade that the reference photo was. So yeah, that's basically it for this painting. I just go back and fix the green shades at the top there and add some like almost purple gray shadows. And here I'm adding the roots at the bottom of the onion. So I forgot to sign my name at the bottom of this artwork, but to be honest, it doesn't it doesn't really matter. I'll probably do that after I'm finished recording this video. I am so late with this video, so I'm sorry if I sound super dry and dead during this voiceover, or at least a little bit more dry than usual. And yeah, I don't think I'll be adding any memes to this video either, which is kind of sad, but I'm in a rush. I'm so late with this video. It should have been out like 5 days ago, but I really wanted to do the second painting of the onion, and I'm really happy I did, because it made me feel a lot better about this video. I feel like if I just stopped after the landscape, I wouldn't have experienced it fully and like really learned something. I feel like, yeah, I feel like I accomplished something with this random red onion. Anyways, after adding the highlights, that was pretty much it for this video. I waited for the painting to dry a bit, and then I added like a really, really thick layer of white oil paint, and it made it look super dramatic, which was nice. Okay, so I think I'm finally done. I've tried to end this video like 10 times, but each time I notice a little mistake and just go in to fix it. So yeah. That's a clear sign that I'm done and should stop touching it. Anyways, I really like how it turned out. The glare is kind of strong, like the lighting is making a weird glare. Oh, okay, from here it's kind of nice. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this onion turned out. It was really fun, and honestly, it was more fun than the landscape, which is drying up there. But yeah, I'll probably ramble about that in the voiceover, so I won't talk about it too much here. Anyways, I'm going to clean up my absolute disaster zone of a desk and then come back for the outro. Okay, so I'm finally done with these two paintings. Looking back at this one, it's not as horrific as I thought it was. I actually kind of like it. My preference between the two obviously has to be the onion. I think it just turned out a lot better in a way. I don't know, I probably ramble a lot about it in the voiceover, so yeah. So I ended up storing the oil paints over here actually, like on this trolley that I would just drag right next to me. And then the palette would be sitting on my lap, which is very unprofessional, but it's fine. And yeah, I just used it like that. Oh, also like the solvent and mediums were on this table here, which is technically like supposed to be where my computers are at and studies, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I had a lot of fun filming it and like changing up my art style a bit. It was a really nice change of pace, I have to be honest. I hope it was still enjoyable to watch, despite it being like a lot different from my usual sketchbook content. I honestly needed the change of pace and content because I feel a lot more like inspired and excited to go back to my sketchbook. So the next video on my channel will most likely be out like in a week or two, kind of as usual. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm still excited. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.